It's time again because I have again learnt something which obviously I don't do quite as often as I would like, especially in light of the serious attacks that are continuously waged against me by the state arbiters of the program and their intelligence agencies. But today I have learnt that they have yet again broadcasted an information campaign in which they are trying to make it appear as if I'm some kind of scammer, that I cheat people, and they want people to try to get information out of me that would suggest that I'm using my home as my workshop, which I obviously don't do, since the municipality have issued me a warning, or an order rather, and despite of me renting a workshop and having my CVI address and at a hotel, if you will, CVR hotel, they are still trying to have me evicted because the state and the Danish Intelligence Agency (PET) obviously want me made homeless and indigent. So, in connection with this information campaign, which has been publicised today, they have coerced someone to contact me in regards to renovating an engine, and this person called me up. In fact, I had already spoken to him for a couple of weeks ago, but that fell through. So he phoned again today. And to make a long story short, I sent him a bill or factura for the work that I was going to provide, and asked for half of the money up front, and the second half when I had completed my work on his engine. So once I received the 1,000 kroner as we had arranged, I immediately ordered shipping for him and emailed the shipping label to him. And as soon as I had done that, he informed me that he didn't have a printer, and he furthermore didn't have any ability to drop off his engine at the nearest GLS depot. So I helped him, or I suggested that I could have the shipping cancelled and try to accommodate his needs as best as possible. But as soon as I was in the middle of cancelling the shipping, which I had to do through DBA, he phoned me up and was quite hostile with me, and implied that I was going to cheat him and that I wasn't doing things properly, and all sorts of claims, despite the very clear understanding that I had already sent him a shipping label that he only needed to drop off his engine and have me renovated. So before anything had even materialized, he was already claiming that I was in the middle of scamming him or something in those lines. And while at the same time this was going on, he wanted me to provide him with all sorts of information, because apparently my web shop address and my CVR number, my actual business number, which anybody can look up, wasn't enough for him. And so he also wanted my private address, which I provided, furthermore stipulating that I didn't use my home to renovate engines or anything of those sorts, which obviously was what the intelligence agency wanted to conflate with this business correspondence. So here was clear signs of they acting through a member of the public to only self-sabotage a business agreement that was in the works, to get information out of me that would suggest that I'm using my home as a workshop, which I'm obviously not doing, as I have said, because I have been issued an order from the municipality because the state and the intelligence agency PUT have already tried to sabotage my small business and have me made homeless, which they are still doing this very minute. So they are trying all sorts of things to manufacture evidence or appearance of evidence that I'm somehow violating the order, but I'm not. So we have a clear evidence of the intelligence agencies operating through a member of the public to try to extract information from me that can be spun or changed into appearance of evidence that I'm in violation, while at the same time the state is publicly saying that I'm a scammer and cheating people, despite the long history of me having a good reputation for always providing quality engines and always sending people their items or the stuff or engines, parts and scooters that they have bought from me without fail. So they're trying to create a different image in the minds of the public, and they are trying to extract fraudulent information that they can use against me. Because if it wasn't for the state 90% of the time outright prohibiting people from buying my stuff, I would have a thriving business, and I suspect that 90% of my potential sales are being prohibited. I can also see on my stats from my web host provider are they're completely different, in other words, from those that are provided from Google Analytics, for example. So I'm seeing huge discrepancies in my stats. So I can see clear-cut evidence of how my viewing numbers, just as is the case on my YouTube videos and Facebook and YouTube videos and what have you, the viewing numbers are being heavily suppressed. The same is true for my website.